Good morning. My name is Tamara Southerton, and I did my paper on Scenario 1 concerning Native American students. The history behind the way in which Native children have been treated in America is heartbreaking. Starting in the mid-1800s, boarding schools were enacted to assimilate Native Americans into the American culture. This called for eradicating all parts of the children's home culture and replacing it with the American way of life. Wilma Wyman and McCarthy, authors of To Remain an Indian, comment on such practices. The civilized nation assumed that its rights to dispossess native nations went hand in hand with the responsibility to uplift them, and mission and federal Indian schools were established as laboratories for a grand experiment in cultural cleansing, Christian conversion, and assimilation of laborers and domestic workers in the workforce. With such a history of not only disturbing Native students, but actively robbing them of their culture and way of life, we as a district must make amends. We must fight for a movement towards a more equitable and representative school system that works to serve all our students. Students that come through our classroom should not feel as if they need to leave a piece of themselves and their home culture behind. Instead, our schools should transform to reflect the populations that surround them. With such a high growing population of Native students, our schools need to be doing more to adequately serve them. In order for our Native students to be served adequately by their local schools here in our district, we must first educate them and their non-Native counterparts about the real history of this country. That means not teaching to the status quo and reproducing the false stock stories that teachers have been passing on for generations, but rather it means taking an honest, critical approach to the history of Native Americans in this country and finding out the truth behind such genocidal and assimilative practices. As part of this exploration, time should be devoted to learning about the local tribes in our areas and bringing that knowledge into everyday life of our classrooms. Part of learning about these tribes should include learning about their languages. Some of the Native students in our classes are already speaking their tribe's individual language. Not only should this practice be allowed, but it should be encouraged and valued. Many Native languages are endangered, and by the year 2050, it is predicted 155 of today's Native American languages will lose their last native speakers. We as educators must do what we can to preserve such knowledge and show our students it has value in our world today. Based on the discovery of knowledge about the history of the tribes in our area, I propose that teachers spend time gathering resources that can be brought into the classroom. This can be done in the form of books, posters, artifacts, or even guest speakers. Freeman and Freeman point out that learning does not happen exclusively inside the head of learners. It results from social interactions with others that enable learners to participate by drawing on past and present experiences and relating them to the specific concept or the specific context at hand and in some meaningful way. These items and peoples are tools in which we can help bring in pieces of the home culture into the classroom. This will get our students to be more engaged in the lessons that are going on and give our non-native students some valuable insight to another culture that surrounds their area. This is a part of their local culture, and it's time we stopped ignoring or hiding it. Kevin Kumashiro reflects on this idea in his book Bad Teacher. Today's calls for standards, which consist of only certain things articulated by only certain groups in society, echoes the earlier call for schools to prioritize only certain ways of seeing and living in the world. All students and culture hold value, and it's time we start practicing our multicultural beliefs. Linda Christensen points out in her article, Putting Out the Linguistic Welcome Mat, Honoring Students' Home Language Builds an Inclusive Classroom. These days, most of our schools and school boards fashion mission statements about embracing diversity. Multilingual banners welcome students and visitors in Spanish, Russian, and Vietnamese in the hallways of school buildings. But in the classroom, the job of the teacher often appears to be whitewashing students of colors or students who are linguistically diverse. We too have the same idea of diversity and multilingual systems in our school, yet we must ask ourselves, are we truly living up to the words we proclaim? With these small proposed changes in the classroom, we as a district can truly accomplish a diverse and multilingual classroom where all are welcome. Native cultures have always placed a lot of importance on being able to communicate in different dialects. Multilingualism was always highly valued in indigenous societies and, indeed, was essential for trade and survival in one of the most culturally, linguistically, and ecologically diverse regions of the world. We can learn a lot from other cultures when we create spaces where diversity is not only welcome but valued. There is so much research and examples of how multilingual schools benefit children that we are doing our students a disservice by not allowing other languages into our classrooms. In fact, the research on bilingual education shows that all students, native English speakers and English language learners alike, will actually benefit from multilingual classrooms. Our English language learners will have the opportunity to build their cognitive academic language proficiency skills. We need to allow them to build those skills in their native language in order to easily translate these concepts into English, while native English speakers broaden their cultural view while gaining proficiency in another language. Both students will develop important code switching skills that have been shown to benefit students' learning in other academic areas. With such benefits for all our students, why wouldn't we follow through on such changes? There are easy tweaks in a system that will open up our classrooms and call them to reflect all our students. The history of education for Native students is not pretty. Let's start doing what we can to make our schools more welcoming places that conform and work to serve them instead of making them into something else.